Attract more offline clients using VBQs to market and sell more. Hi there, this is Bayo here from InstantOfflineGuru.com, and in this free niche marketing video coaching session, I'm going to show you how to use VBQs. Now, you haven't heard of VBQs before because they're proprietary, they're what I use within my business, but I want to share them with you today because they're very powerful in helping you understand the things that your prospects and clients consider to be valuable. And once you know what those things are, marketing and selling becomes a lot easier. In fact, if you do things right and you do the right things, your prospects will pre-qualify and self-select to work with you. And so it's going to end the struggle, end the strife, the frustration and disappointment that people generally tend to feel and associate with marketing and selling offline marketing consulting services. So let's just dive right into and see what these VBQs are about. VBQ stands for value-based questions. And these are questions that allow you to discover what your offline prospect or your existing clients believe to be valuable to them. It's along the lines of what's in it for me, WIIFM, that we all know about. But this is WVIIFM. What value is in it for me? VBQs as well, these are questions that I use the word force your prospects or your existing client to think in terms of themselves. So it's about making other people think value, but also making them think generally in terms of themselves. So this has nothing, it's got nothing to do with the sell that you're going to make, or it's got nothing to do with money questions. And I just believe that money questions, when you're asking these sort of questions about their budget and all that sort of stuff, these are actually violations of privacy. It's just the wrong thing to do. Yes, you need to know that they need to be able to pay for your services or your products, but the way questions are asked and under the guise of being qualifying questions, they're just not right. I mean, why should you be asking me how much I want to spend on marketing my website or my website marketing? But that's a discussion for a totally different video. A third component of VBQs, they are questions that leave no other option than for your prospect or your existing client to respond in terms of you. So what you're doing here when you use the VBQ approach, you're establishing, number one, what your prospect or client considers to be valuable. You're literally forcing them to think in terms of themselves. And then thirdly, you're opening up the option for them to respond in terms of you. So let me give you some examples. And I'm going to give you first of all examples of bad value-based questions and then good value-based questions. I'll give you three, just three of the bad value-based questions. And by the way, when you're using VBQs, it's actually a system that has to be done in a certain way. What bad value-based questions are questions that still allow you to get value, maybe the size of the company, maybe some projections they have, those sort of things. It's still business intelligence that's really valuable. However, it doesn't meet the criteria that I'm talking about right now. They're just random questions that you could actually get and write down on a notepad, and that's it. When you use VBQs, they actually have a sequence and they lead to certain results. So here are three bad VBQs. If I could show you how to improve your search engine ranking in Google, is that something you would be interested in knowing more about? Valid question, but a bad VBQ. How can I help you with your marketing problems? Valid question, but a bad VBQ. A third example, what results are you getting from your website right now? Good question, bad value-based question. Okay, let's just jump straight into what I consider to be good VBQs. And remember, good VBQs lead to a certain conclusion, lead to a certain action. Think of it as a call to action that is veiled with WVIIFM. You can use good value-based questions in any scenario for anything at all. You can use them on your websites. I use them in my autoresponder lead generation sequences. I use them in person when I'm at networking events. I use them pre-webinar registration. So when people want to sign up, professionals want to sign up for my free webinar events, I use them as pre-questions before I provide teleseminars. But it has to be asked in a certain way. The VBQ is actually a system, but it's made up of questions. An example, right? This is how the sequence goes. I ask the question, when a prospect visits your business website, and again, remember, I'm only using websites as an example. It could be anything. What do you want them to think? So here, what we're asking here is, what's valuable in the eyes of my prospect or my existing client? The second question, so what are they thinking right now when they visit your business website? So again, it's not in terms of me, it's in terms of them. So is value, remember in the first point, when people get to the website, does the prospect or existing client, if I'm just about to offer website optimization services, is it the brand that's more important to them? Is it something else? What's the difference between their brand desires and what actually people are thinking right now? And they might say to you, well, yeah, I really want my brand to be more reinforced locally by our website. Okay, so what are people thinking right now? I don't think we're really doing a good job of it because I've been told some of the videos don't play and so on and so forth. These are just examples. What you're driving out here is a gap, and that is what you're looking for. Bearing in mind, when you're having these discussions, you should be having them with people who are pretty damn qualified to do business with you. You can use it as a pre-qualification process, but really I don't spend time talking to people that either have no intention of doing business with me or that I haven't pre-qualified, or more importantly, if they haven't pre-qualified themselves. And that is why these questions being asked at the webinar registration stage, for instance, is a very, very good tactic, because then I know exactly what the gaps are between for the people that are on the event, between what's valuable to them and then what's actually happening right now. So the third question I normally ask is that, would you be open to trying a few things that I believe will allow your website to be more than a business card and give you the results you're trying to achieve? Now, if you told me what you've established, what value is, what's valuable to you, you know it because it's valuable to you, and then you've all told me, what's important in terms of what we're talking about. Asking this third question, people are either going to say yes or they're going to say no. Now, if you've just told me about a gap that you have within your business, it doesn't matter again whether it's a website or video marketing or anything, and I'm offering you a way to actually achieve the results you're trying to achieve. Now, it's going to take a lot for you to say, no, I don't want to, I'm not even open to discussing it. I just want to, continue feeling the pains or going through the problems or not achieve my goals. It's very hard for that to happen. And what you'll tend to find is that there are very few people who will say no. Some will. I mean, I've had people register for webinars and they've said no. They're not open. They do want to attend because the items that I put there look interesting. And what you do with those sort of people is well, some of you know my feelings about that, but really you want to be talking to people that are open to to discussing solutions that will give them results they're trying to achieve. So what you need to do now, what you need to take away from this is the understanding that in order for you to create valuable, value-based questions, you have to learn those things that will strike importance or, evoke strong emotions in the mind of your prospect or your existing offline client. The only way that I know that you can do this is to ask questions that have nothing to do with whatever it is you want to sell. That's the key, because you notice those questions I asked, the first two had nothing to do with what I wanted to sell. And even my third question is just an invitation. It's almost like a further pre-qualification. Remember that asking about their budget is dumb. It's not what you should be doing. It's just totally wrong. And you put yourself in their position, someone asking you about your budget. You'll probably tell them where to go. The more valuable the information that you're able to gather, the more you're going to be able to create those value-based questions. And once you become more proficient at asking these VBQs, then the more valuable what it is you have to offer is going to be. And of course, you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. So takeaway from this is write 10 VBQs that you can be asking of your prospects or your existing clients so that you make marketing and selling a lot easier. Thank you for listening. It's been Bayo here from InstantOfflineGuru.com.